I have a house for sale for $25,000. It's worth approximately $72,000. So we're selling it at 35% of market value. That's 65% below market value. We're also willing to sell it on terms with just $5,000 up front. You can buy it if you want. I'm not joking. I'm really selling at 35% of market value. That's 35 cents on the dollar. I'm selling it on a first come, first served basis. The first person with the cash gets the property. Just send me an email and let me know. If you're the first one who does, I'll hold it for you. This video is going out to my email investor list of 45,000 people and my YouTube channel subscribers of another 35,000. I think it'll sell very quickly. So if you're interested, please watch this video and take action right away. My email address is joecrump@joecrump.com. Now, if you aren't interested in this kind of investment, but you're either an active investor or you want to be one, I'd still suggest that you watch the rest of this video. I'm going to give you all the details about the property, and I'm going to show you how much potential money you can make owning properties like this. You can make much more money than you may think. I'm going to break down exactly how much you can make in the short term and the long term with this particular property and with properties just like it. I've done a lot of them over the years. I'll show you how to analyze these kinds of properties and how to understand the benefits and the risks involved with buying them. And I'll show you the difference between buying them from someone like me or finding them yourself. And you can make a lot more money when you find them yourself. So let's get started. Here's the property. It's in southern Illinois in a little rural town. The address is 706 North Commercial Street in Benton, Illinois. That's 62812. And here's what it looks like. There are houses like this all over the country in rural areas and in lower priced urban areas. They aren't that hard to find if you know how to market. We use the Automarketer. You can find out more about that at pushbuttonautomarketer.com. We also use a few other things like bandit signs, social media, web pages, etc. The price of the home is $25,000 cash. The average price of homes in Benton is about $150,000. So this house is at the low end of that local market. You need a $1,000 deposit to hold the property. The after repair market value of this house is approximately $72,000, but it needs a lot of work. Let's take a look at these pictures. This work, if you hire someone to do it, will probably cost about $20,000. If you do the work yourself, it can probably be done for much less. Typically, I see houses like this rehabbed by handymen for about half what it would cost to hire someone to do the work, so $10,000. That means you'll have $25,000 in the purchase and $10,000 to $20,000 in the rehab, which leaves a $27,000 to $37,000 chunk of equity in the property. If you need more time to come up with the purchase price, we're also willing to carry payments by doing a 6-month purchase option. If you do that, you'll need a $5,000 down payment instead of a deposit and monthly interest-only payments of $500. That gives you 180 days to find the money to fix it up and pay it off. The seller has completed all the structural repairs. It's got new floor joists, mostly new wiring. It had a new roof put on when he bought it in 2016. Now, let's get into the good news and the bad news of this particular deal. I want you to know what you're getting into before you take on a project like this. I know that some of you are brand new at investing, and I don't want you to get into something that you can't handle. I've been doing properties like this one, along with every other type of property you can imagine, for over 30 years, and very little surprises me these days. This particular house belongs to one of my former mentor students, who's also a partner of mine and a good friend. The reason I'm selling it for him is because I think looking at deals like this is a great way for you to learn what makes sense and what doesn't when you're looking at potential deals. I thought it would make a good educational video. And in the meantime, I can pitch my Automarketer system and my mentor program. Okay, let's start with the bad news. Deals like this can be challenging. If you don't know what you're doing, you may struggle a bit to make a profit. I've seen newbie investors take even better deals than this one and only break even, or worse yet, actually lose money. The biggest challenge will be fixing it up. I suggest you consider going to Illinois and doing the work yourself. Maybe consider staying at the house or parking your RV in the driveway or staying at a nearby hotel for a couple of weeks. Being there can make all the difference. I remember my first rehab. My girlfriend, who is now my wife, and I did the work together. I wasn't much of a handyman. I'm still not that great with a hammer, but we figured things out as we went. And that was before YouTube tutorials. These days, everything you can imagine is taught on YouTube, from painting to fixing a furnace. We also hired a couple of the more complicated jobs out to skilled workers. If you do the work yourself, this deal will be more profitable. The rehab will cost about half what it cost to hire all the work done by contractors. But whether you do the work or hire it out, you can still make money. Everyone is in a different place in their life. For some of you, doing the work yourself makes a lot of sense. For others, like me, at this stage of my life, I don't mind making a little less and paying for someone else to do the work. When you get into a rehab job like this, sometimes you find things that you weren't expecting. In order to get good deals like this, you typically have to buy in as-is condition. The reason people sell properties at a discount like this is to get it out of their lives. That's why my student's selling it. He has his hands full with a commercial property that he and I are doing together, and he doesn't have time to focus on it. But as they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure. You can definitely turn this one into a treasure. And you don't have to fix it up. You could sell it using a contract for deed. You'll get a little less money, but you'll get payments over time. The person who buys from you can make your payments. You can only do it this way if you pay cash for the property up front. If you buy it, I'll explain how to do that. But I suggest you fix it up. You'll do better in the long run. I'll show you the numbers in a minute. You also need to think about what you're going to do with it after you buy it. Never buy a property without knowing what you're going to do with it. It's all about the exit strategy. You have a few exit strategy options. Number one, you can fix it up and sell it for full market value. That way, you get your investment money back right away. You pocket the proceeds and then go out and find another property and you do it again. This is called a fix and flip. So that would mean that you'd make about $22,000 to $32,000, $25,000 purchase price plus $10,000 to $20,000 to rehab plus another $5,000 sales and closing costs. That equals $40,000 to $50,000 in total costs. Subtract that from the sale price, which is $72,000 approximately, minus the $40,000 to $50,000 in costs. That equals $22,000 to $32,000 net profit on a fix and flip. Not a bad way to spend a month or three of your time. This is the way I did it when I was just getting started. But I sure wish that I'd kept that first property that I bought. My first rehab was in Los Angeles, Altadena actually. The house cost me $120,000. I put $5,000 in it, fixed it myself, and sold it for $155,000. So I ended up pocketing about $25,000 in profit. That was a windfall for me at the time. But if I had kept that property, I would have done much, much better. It's been a long time, more than 30 years, but it's now worth $1.5 million, 10 times what I sold it for. It would also be renting for $4,500 a month right now. Holding your properties is way more profitable than selling. Let's look at the potential of this deal in Illinois. Not over 30 years, but over the next 3 years. Let's say you bought this property, fixed it up, and sold it on a lease with a 3-year option to buy. Let's look at those numbers. We're estimating the after repair value, the ARV, at $72,000. It should rent for approximately $725 to $750 per month. And we'll just be conservative and go with $725 for these calculations. The taxes and insurance are approximately $76 per month. The annual taxes are $612. The annual insurance, $303. Add those together, divide by 12, is $76. That gives you $649 per month net income. That's the $76 a month minus or subtracted from the $725 a month income. So $649 per month net income. After 1 year, your cash flow income is $7,788. After 2 years, $15,576. After 3 years, $23,364. This is just your cash flow. This is your net rental income on a 3-year lease option. But that's not the only income that you're going to make. You're also going to charge a lease option fee of 10% of your purchase price. Half of this down payment you'll get in cash, and half you'll get as a promissory note. So $7,200 total down payment. $3,600 in cash, $3,600 in payments of $100 per month for 36 months. So add $7,200 to your net profits. But that's not all your profits. Next, figure in your IRS tax depreciation. Lots of streams of income here. When you own real estate, you can depreciate the improvement over 27 and a half years, so 3.64% of the improvement value. If you're in at a 30% tax bracket, which most people are, you'd end up saving $1,651 in taxes over the next 3 years. That's money in your pocket. But that's not all. The income streams keep coming. Next, figure in appreciation. If your buyer exercises their option to buy, you win. You cash out of your property and sell it without having to pay any selling costs, no realtor fees. But fewer than 30% of lease option buyers will exercise their option. Honestly, the number is much smaller than 30%. The likelihood is that they will not exercise the option. They can either move out or you can extend their lease, but the option expires after 3 years and the down payment and monthly payments are non-refundable. You don't have to pay it back. So if they don't exercise the option, you win even bigger. You get the appreciation on your property. Most real estate goes up in value over time. The average in most of the country, including Southern Illinois, is about 3% annually. It's been a lot higher lately, but let's say it's only 3% per year. After 3 years, an increase in value on $72,000 house will be $6,480. That's 3% of $72,000. Over 10 years, it'll increase over $21,000. Did I mention that you don't have to deal with tenant repairs while your lease option buyer is paying you? The contracts we use are set up to make the tenant responsible for taking care of the property. It's on their shoulders, not yours. I'll give you my contracts to use if you buy this property. Having the tenant be responsible for the work makes management a lot easier. Sometimes it's not just about the money. Sometimes an easier investment is more sustainable and repeatable. That's why we structure it this way. So let's add up the profit numbers. The expenses. You bought it for $25,000. You improved it with $10,000 to $20,000. Your total cost of purchase and acquisition is $35,000 to $45,000. Your income over 3 years is the down payment in cash, $3,600. The down payment in payments, another $3,600. The net rental income, $23,364. The IRS depreciation benefit, $1,651. The equity built in at the purchase is between $27,000 and $37,000, and the equity increase over 3 years is $6,480. The total profit after 3 years is $65,695 to $75,695. This is in addition to getting back your principal, investment, and repair costs. Not bad for a $35,000 to $45,000 investment. If you keep the property for 10 years, your numbers will escalate to over $120,000 in profits. It's just math, but what glorious math it is. Okay, 706 North Commercial Street, Benton, Illinois, 62812. Here are a few notes from the owner about the house. He says, based on my experience in the area, and I have a lot, it should be worth $72,000 after repairs are complete. There are no values for it on Zillow or the regular places since it's not been on the market since 2010, and it was really rough at that time. We have completed all the structural repairs, new floor joists, mostly new wiring. It has a new roof on it, or it had a new roof on it when I bought it in 2016. And it should rent for between $725 and $750 since it's a 3-bedroom with a nice sized yard on a corner lot in a decent area. So the vital statistics are it's 3-bedroom, 1 bath, 1,000 square feet, has one attached carport. The estimated $20,000 repair is needed to complete the project. The roof is approximately 9 years old. The estimated ARV is $72,000. The price is $72,000. The annual taxes are $612. The annual insurance is $303. I'll give you some links in the comments below to the pictures and another link to the property on Zillow. All right, the seller was in my mentor program about 8 years ago, and he still comes on my coaching calls. He and I partner on deals these days, and we're working on a big commercial project in Southern Illinois. He has a wonderful business and built his first $1 million portfolio in less than 2 years of joining my program. He's a good friend, and I think he's pretty amazing. I've been teaching investors since 1997, and I've been an investor since 1986. I've created so many millionaire students. They all make me proud. If you would like to learn from me like they did, you should check out my mentor program. Go to zerodowninvesting.com and spell out zero. It's not cheap. It costs about as much as going to college for 1 semester, but it'll give you a master level education as an investor. I'll show you how to build a fully automated business that you can start with very little money. I'll show you how to build your own multi-million-dollar portfolio in 2 years or less. I'll also show you how to automate everything and put your business on autopilot using my software system, the Push Button Automarketer. And more information about that at pushbuttonautomarketer.com. Everyone who is successful has had a mentor. Maybe you should think about hiring someone to get you where you want to go. I mentioned earlier that I was going to show you the difference between buying properties like this from me, a middleman, and finding them yourself. When you cut out the middleman and you have some skill yourself, you can usually save money. You can also create a consistent stream of new deals and not have to wait on someone else to find them for you. It puts you in the driver's seat, which is where you want to be as an entrepreneur. So my suggestion is learn how to find deals like this. Learn how to talk to sellers so they'll structure the deals so that they're profitable to you. Learn how to build a system that makes your business grow reliably, consistently, and safely. Learn how to structure your business so that you can reduce your tax burden and protect your assets. I guarantee if you amass that knowledge, your life and your financial well-being will dramatically improve. Okay, back to this property that we're selling. Whenever I sell a property to investors, whether they're experienced or brand new in the business, I think it's important to make sure that they know what they're getting into. I'll ask you to sign a disclosure form to make sure you know what's going on. But let me just say this. Every investment comes with some risk. There's no guarantee that you will profit from this deal. There is the possibility you'll lose your entire investment. Sometimes things go wrong, knock on wood, and there's just nothing you can do about it. All you can do is the best that you can do. And if you buy this property, I'll be there to answer your questions if you need me. If you are more experienced, your risks get smaller because you have a better idea of what to expect. If you're in my mentor program, you can come to me personally and I'll give you advice to help you through the process the best that I can. If you're brand new as an investor and if you've never done this before, your risks are greater. There's no denying that. But remember, everyone has to start somewhere. When I did my first rehab, I had no idea what I was doing. I just flew by the seat of my pants and talked to everyone I could find who had done it before. I didn't have somebody like me to help. For me, it worked. Partially out of luck, partially out of my focus and my drive to succeed. The harder I work, the luckier I get. It's important for you to know I've never been to this house and have no plans to go there. Before you close, you should do your due diligence and make sure what I've been told about the property and what I'm telling you passes the smell test. You can do an inspection or hire an inspector, and if you find that the estimates that I've given you are substantially different than reality, you can ask for a refund of your deposit and I'll give it to you. If you do your inspections and I'm reasonably close in my estimates of value and cost, and I think I am, I will allow you to cancel the transaction, but I will not refund your deposit. So please know that going in. Okay, so what do you need to do next if you're interested? If you're interested in buying this property, just send me an email and let me know you have the $1,000 deposit available today and that you'll have the balance of the funds you need to close in the next 2 weeks. We'll do everything we can to get it closed in 2 weeks. It takes that long for the title company to get their paperwork together. If you're the first one to send me that email, I'll reply back and let you know that you won the bid and ask you to sign the purchase agreement, the disclosure form, and send me your banking information so Tina can process the deposit. If you're not the first one to respond, at your request, I'll put you on the backup list. Sometimes deals fall through no matter what you do to make sure that they're solid. If that happens, I would contact the backup list immediately in the order that I got your responses and see if you're still interested. If you have questions about the deal, feel free to send me an email at joecrump@joecrump.com. I'll answer them personally, but I can't guarantee that the property will still be available by the time I answer them. Most of the time, these deals sell quickly, but sometimes they take a little longer, so who knows? All right, I think that's about everything. If you look at the description below, I've put some helpful links. I got a link to the pictures of the house. I've got a link to the property on Zillow. So that should give you all the information you need. I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something from it. I'll see you next time. Thanks.